Today we're diving into a topic that's been gaining a lot of attention in the TSW community. What countries should Dovetail Games explore next for future TSW DLCs? At least Europe got a lot of attention lately, so it looks like Train Sim World really makes steps, being a real Train Sim World more than a Train Sim local.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Train Sim World 5 Dev Diaries video series.
A lot of these picks are highly requested by the community, whether it's on Reddit, Steam, or in Dovetail's own forums and live streams. We're going to go through a top 5 list based on community feedback, geography, rail diversity, and what these countries could bring to the sim. It's more like a list than a top, but you got the point. We're not including countries that already have DLCs like the UK, Germany, US, France, Switzerland, and so on. Not including the upcoming official announced like Japan one either. None of the countries you'll see on this list have been officially confirmed by DTG, except for one. Stay tuned until the end to find out which one it is. Another angle we should consider is how open a national rail operator or government might be to licensing and working with Dovetail Games, which often depends on how democratic, transparent, or industry-friendly a country is. Countries with strong democratic systems and transparent government structures tend to be more approachable for these types of partnerships. So that being said, let's break it all down. Opening the list is India. It's home to one of the largest railway networks in the world, over 68,000 kilometers long, and it's incredibly diverse. Whatever it is, an express run with a WAP7 locomotive, a commuter DMU or EMU, or even a freight corridor featuring the powerful WAG12, there's something for every rail fan. But here's the thing, despite the high demand, TSW still isn't ready for an India DLC. We'd likely need improvements to the passenger system. We're talking more randomization in boarding, crowd variety, and maybe even rush hour behaviors to truly reflect the chaotic energy of Indian stations. And with the current limitations and optimizations, I'm not sure it's possible. While India is a democratic country, its state-owned railway system is massive and bureaucratic, which might make licensing and cooperation more challenging also. So likely we'd need to see another developer based in India to acquire licensing and make the routes and maybe becoming part of the third-party program. The distance from DTG's office to India is quite significant too, which might make on-the-ground research more challenging. However, that hasn't stopped them from successfully developing routes in faraway places like the USA or Canada. The real issue is that India could be a financial risk, so it might not be a priority right now. Moving to the second spot, we have Australia. Australia is massive, with over 36,000 kilometers of railways and some of the most iconic train journeys in the world. It operates under a federal constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system. You get modern urban networks like Sydney trains, but also legendary long-haul trains like the GAN or Indian Pacific. Locomotives like the NR-class diesels and New South Wales Tangara emus could headline an Australian route. On the other hand, for a truly immersive Australian freight experience, TSW would need some freight system improvements. Imagine real industrial operations, functional loading, unloading, dynamic yard use, and even outback weather conditions. We've seen similar activities on routes like Sandpatch Grade, Cane Creek, and even the Canadian route, but they've only appeared on such a small scale that they're almost insignificant. There's a lot of room for improvement on a freight-focused route like what Australia could offer. Operations like these are essential to give the driver a real sense of purpose and make the experience feel more alive. From a business or a legal point of view, there's no reason why an Australian DLC couldn't happen, but many community members on Reddit have expressed skepticism or even strong doubt about a possible partnership, already being in a strong bond with N3V Games developer. Moving on the list, we find Norway, which is a scenic dream. The country operates roughly 4,200 kilometers of railways and features some of the most beautiful and challenging terrain in Europe. Filled up with steep gradients, tight mountain curves, long tunnels, winter weather, and modern electric trains. The perfect combination for a fun experience for any player. The Flom line, or the Bergen line, would be instant classics in TSW. The L18 electric locomotive and Class 73 tilting EMU would be perfect stars for these routes. Especially after the success of the Semmering Ban route, DTG is more likely to approach such a project again. Finding traffic for the route wouldn't be an issue either. Locomotives like the Vectron or Taurus are widely used across Europe and would fit in naturally. Norway's rail operator VI and the country's highly transparent democratic framework would likely make licensing much smoother and collaborative, especially with a focus on tourism and innovation. When it comes to favorite railways around the world, Spain is a heavyweight. With over 12,000 kilometers of track, it has the largest high-speed railway network in the European Union, too. But what really sets it apart is its dual-gauge system. Most of Spain's traditional and freight lines use the wider Iberian gauge, a design dating back to the 19th century. Meanwhile, its high-speed AVE network runs on standard gauge, allowing fast, seamless travel to the country and France. To bridge the gap, Spain uses advanced gauge-changing technology. Some trains can switch gauges mid-journey without even stopping, a remarkable feat of engineering. This unique system blends tradition and innovation, making Spain a fascinating case in railway evolution. Locomotives, like the Class S112 AVE and the Class 252 electrics, would offer both speed and variety, running side by side with a Class 253 built exclusively for Iberian gauge tracks only. While Renfe operates trains, passenger and freight, ADIF manages the physical infrastructure they run on. But both Spain's operators have worked on international media projects before, and the country's democratic openness means Dovetail would likely face minimal resistance in partnerships. Last but not least, we got Italy. Italy features approximately 20,000 kilometers of railways and brings serious visual and operational diversity. Italy would shine in TSW thanks to dense intercity services, classic regional units, high-speed Frecciarasa, and breathtaking coastal or alpine routes. The ETR 500 and ALE 582 emus are iconic choices that show off both speed and vintage charm. Unlike in Spain's case, FS Italian acts as an umbrella, overseeing several specialized divisions, some responsible for operating trains, others for managing the tracks and infrastructure, but still serves as an open company, as already has international partnerships. And Italy's democratic structure makes licensing very likely to succeed, especially with local pride and rail heritage. And here we are, a list of 5 highly requested candidates. Some are more likely to appear than others, but each one absolutely deserves the spotlight. Of course, there are many other countries worth mentioning, like Mexico, Belgium, China, Russia, Poland, and more. But don't forget what I said at the beginning of the video. One country is already planned to join in the future, and as a bonus, here it is. Romania has over 10,700 kilometers of track, running through incredible mountain and rural landscapes. It blends classic diesel, older electrics, and more modernized rolling stock. The CFR Class 60 and Class 40 are staples of Romanian rail. In early 2024, Dovetail mentioned Train Motion, a Romanian third-party dev team known for their work in Train Simulator Classic.
Rail traction, train motion, train sim Germany.
That's a strong hint that Romania could come to TSW soon. So there you have it, a list of the most requested countries Dovetail should add, and one confirmed. From the colorful chaos of Indian railways to the calm, technical climes of Norway, there's a whole world of opportunity out there. Which one would you want to drive through first? Drop a comment, let me know, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.